Hello and welcome to my Pre-Algebra review series. This video covers Chapter 9, Section 7, titled Constructions. By the end of this video, you will have reviewed recent lessons regarding congruent segments and angles. Additionally, you will have reviewed constructing perpendicular bisectors and angle bisectors. Leave a like if you find this video to be helpful. Give your classmates a heads up too. It will more than likely help them, and it certainly will help this channel to be seen by more students. If you would like me to cover any of these topics in greater detail, please leave a comment here in the comment section below. I read them and do my best to address each as time permits. Please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon to be notified every time I release a new video. Thank you. Let's get into it. Okay, before we get started, there's a few definitions I'd like to go over, and of course we'll see them later in the section, but I'd like to go over them now, help you have a double time to listen to them and hear these. Perpendicular lines, segments, or rays intersect to form right angles. Segment bisector. A segment bisector is a line, a segment, or a ray that divides a segment into two congruent segments. Perpendicular bisector is a line, a segment, or a ray that is perpendicular to the segment it bisects. And angle bisector. An angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. Okay? Objective 1. Congruent segments and angles. In constructions, you use only a compass and a straight edge, an unmarked ruler, to accurately copy a segment or an angle, or draw an accurate bisector. A compass is a tool used to draw circles or parts of circles. An arc is part of a circle. And here I'd like you to show you, they're showing the straight edge. We're looking at here, it's right here's this straight edge right here. It could be a ruler. It doesn't have to be. A straight edge is literally a piece of plastic or wood, anyone that's straight. It doesn't have to be marked. But anyways, you could be using your ruler. That's also a straight edge. Example 1. Constructing a congruent segment. Constructing a segment congruent to AB. So what are we doing here? They're showing you a segment, AB. Here's the segment right here. A and AB is the segment right here. Okay? So it says, how do you draw a segment? That's just what we're wanting to know. And it obviously looks like it's to a certain length also. But it says, draw a ray with an endpoint. So here's the ray, right here, the ray. Little arrow on the end, and put the endpoint C they have written here. Open the compass to the desired length of AB. Okay, so this is constructing a segment congruent to AB. Well, here's AB, the length. So we're going to put this compass, as they're showing right here, the compass. Maybe I'll change colors. They're putting the compass right here on A to B. They're measuring, they measured this out with the compass. And now they know exactly how long this segment is. So now they're going to transfer it. We go back to the line we drew with the C right here. Going back to this line, which happens to be down here now. And it says, with the same compass setting, put the compass tip on C, and then draw an arc that intersects the ray that you drew. You drew this ray up here at C. So now they want you to draw an arc. Just doesn't matter how long it is, as long as it's the same length as the A to B section. A to B, okay? And you just have to cross the line so that you get a mark and you know where it crosses. It says draw an arc that intersects the ray. And then label that intersection point right there. Where that intersects right there, you're going to label that D. So now you have CD segment, CD that is congruent to AB. Just by drawing a segment, finding the one point from your segment, measuring the distance between your two segments with your compass, and then putting the compass pin on the starting point and putting your pencil point across to draw an arc across the line. All done. Okay, example 1. Check your understanding. Directions. Draw a segment. Construct a segment twice the length of the segment you drew. Okay, go ahead and stop the video and give it a shot, see what you come back with. Then when you come back, we'll do it together. Okay, now that you've had time to draw your segment, and your segment is a double length segment, I'm going to try and do it here. Of course, I don't have any tools right now that can accurately draw these things, but I can do a few things. I could probably draw a straight line. I could probably draw a straight line here. I'm going to draw a straight line from here to here, okay? There's my straight line. And then at the end of my straight line, I'm going to draw a point right here, and I'm going to draw a point right here. Okay, it says, draw a segment. Construct a segment twice the length of the segment you drew. Well, I guess we could do it like we've done it here. So I don't have the compass, right? So what I'm going to do, though, is the idea here is I've drawn a segment on a long line. This is a long line. It could have been an array, whatever. Could be a line going in both directions. And I'm going to label this A and B. Okay, there's my points, A and B. And now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and change colors. And I'm going to how to draw this segment twice as long. Well, what you're going to do is watch this one. You're going to take your compass and you're going to put your points of your compass and spread it out, right? You know, the compass goes. So you pin it down here at the A, and your pencil is on this side. So you've measured how long that arc is. So now you're going to move your compass, not changing the angle. You're going to move the compass so that now it's shifted down, and it's going to be the same compass, right? I'm going to go up and draw it. It's kind of all freehand here, right? But in order to get that point now, you don't just touch it, then you draw an arc. From this point to here, you draw the arc. And then with that point there, you can take and add your dot right where that arc intersects. So you put your compass between A and B, and then you've taken, and we're going to call this C. A and B, you measured that length, then you moved your compass to put your pin on B, and then you struck an arc on your ray, or your line, whatever you want to call it here, ray, on your ray, and then where your arc crossed the line, you put a point, that's C. So now you have a segment AC, which is 2 times, it's equal to 2 times AB. How's that? So that's kind of what we've got. There's the answer to that question. Okay, example 2, constructing a congruent angle. So it says construct an angle congruent to angle E. So here we are. We have angle E right here. And we'll put a little point right there. We don't need a point there, but I'm putting one there. So we've got the angle. Now it says step 1, draw a ray with point Q. That's this ray right here. Point Q, and the ray goes off into infinity. Okay. Now, I might say that when you draw this, we're going to imagine it's one of these lines up here. We're replacing Q is going to be part of our new angle that we're drawing. So in my mind, I'm going to say that the Q line is this side of the angle. Okay, so those are going to be matching as we look at it. So it says with the compass point at E, compass point, here's E. Remember E. So here, with the compass point at point E. I'll change it to red. Compass at point E. It says draw an arc that intersects the sides of angle E. Label this intersection F and G. So what they want you to do is they want you to put your compass on here, okay? And starting back somewhere below G, over in this area here, they want you to draw an arc that's going to go through, and I'm going to try my best. It's going to go through both lines, and visualize how far the size arc that is, because now they want you in step 3 with the same compass setting. That's the compass setting we have right now. Same compass setting. Put the compass point or tip on point Q, okay? And then when we're gonna strike this arc again, but we're gonna strike it on this line. And when you do it, it says draw an arc intersecting the ray at point P. Well, and we're gonna label that P, right? So we're going to now draw this right here. We got this arc drawn on here. We're drawing this arc. When you draw the arc, make sure that it's long enough. You know, make sure that the arc is long enough that when you bring in this line up here on E, this other angle side, that it's going to go through it. I'll just kind of, it's going to be a line that's going like that, right? So you got to make sure that your line is long, or your arc is long enough to go through that imagined arc of that angle. So it takes a little visualization there. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to draw this arc. You've measured it out. You struck an arc here. You struck the same arc over on Q, and you're going to label it P. It says open the compass to the length of FG. Well, FG is right here, F and G, okay? F and G. Open the compass to get this length from here to here. We want to measure it from F to G, okay? And then it says, using this setting, put the compass tip at P. So here's this P where we started our arc. We labeled it P right here. We labeled it P right there. So we're going to put the compass right here, and we're going to draw an arc that goes through an arc going this way. So it's going to look like this. You're going to have one arc going up like this, and you're going to have another arc crossing it. It's going to look like that. So you're going to put the compass here, and you're going to draw an arc, and that arc is going to go across there. Okay? So then once the compass is open to FG using the setting, compass at P, draw an arc to determine the point R. Well, R is now this point right up in here. I'm going to change it to gold. So here's R right up in here. Right here. But how do we don't have R yet. What are we going to do? We're going to put let's see if I can get a straight edge on this. We're going to put that point right there. Oh, wrong spot. Can I get it? Okay. No, I can't get it. I can't do it. I don't have the tools for it. Anyways, you're going to start here, and you're going to draw your line through that point, right through point R. And if you look at it, although this is kind of freehand-ish, when I've done it, we drew this line to begin with. I'm going to go to green. We drew this line in the very beginning. Okay, and then we struck an arc on it. That was this arc right here, this red arc. We struck this red arc right here on that. And then we struck from P. We measured from F to G, and we struck from P out to here. We got that arc now, and it created a point right there. And that point is this line right here. And this angle here now is congruent to this angle E up here at the top. So they're showing you. See the arc right here? They started here, they drew the arc out, they drew this arc out and across, and then they started at P and drew this arc over here, and as you see, that point right there, where they intersected, is now the R point. So now we have the ray that we added, QR, which is added in this new ray, QR. Okay, hopefully that's understandable. It's hard to draw these with freehand without the straight edge and the compass. I hope it works for you. Okay, example 2, check your understanding. Now they want you to do it. They want you to draw an obtuse angle and then construct an angle congruent to your angle you drew. Well, why don't you go off and do it, see what you come back with, and then when you come back, I'll give it a try with you. Like we says, I don't have any tools, but we'll see if we can figure it out, okay? When you come back. Okay, now that you're back, you've stopped the video, you've tried it, you're back. Let's go ahead and I'll give it a try with you. So I'm going to go right down here, and I'm just going to draw a line right here. Maybe I can draw the line with a compass. Not with a compass, but with a straight edge. So I'll draw that line there. And then where's my point here? And I'll draw an obtuse angle. So this is now an obtuse angle. Okay? And it doesn't say about labeling it. We can label this point A if you want. Okay? And it's just two rays going off into space. Obtuse. Why is it obtuse? Because it's greater than 90 degrees. Okay? So now it says construct an angle congruent to your angle you drew. Well, I don't have the tools, but we're going to just imagine that we're drawing it. So what they want us to do now is they want us to draw the line. Okay, we're going to have a point here. Okay, it's going to have an array. So this is now, I'm going to label this out here somewhere E. I'll put a dot out here and call that E, and a dot out here and a D. I don't care. A, E, and D, or so the angle DAE, whatever. But I wanted to have some points if I need to talk about them. So now I have this ray that I drew that is long enough to draw this picture with. So now what does it say? It said to put a compass on point A. I'm going to change colors to red. Put a compass on point A, stretch it out to whatever point, how far you want. Okay, I could have called that point E over here too, by the way. And then it says draw an arc. And this is not going to be a very good arc, but I'm just going to try and freehand it. So it's going to be like an arc, right? Good enough. So now you've done that, and now you've created your own little point. You've got points right here that you've created. You've crossed that line, the DA line, and the EA line segments. You now have that arc, okay? And that's supposed to be exact. This length here is supposed to be congruent to this one. I know it's not because I freehanded it, but it was supposed to be congruent to it. So then once you get this established and you got this drawn, you come down here and you see how far this angle went. So you're going to have to draw here. You have to imagine that your angle, I'm going to do an imaginary. Let's imagine that your angle is going off. I don't know for sure. I'm just imagining that because when I draw my arc, I'm going to have to start way over here, somewhere over here on this side, and I'm going to draw a long sweeping arc all the way over till it gets over here on this side. So the arc has to be long enough to do this. So now I'm going to put that arc, I'm going to do the arc in gold. So I'm going to start right down here where the red is, and I'm just going to try and draw an arc. And you know it's not going to be very good, but it's okay. So now the arc I drew is long enough because I imagined looking up here at this obtuse angle, I imagined about where this line would be. Not exactly, but I imagined it. It's close enough. So now that I've done that, I've drawn this over here. I'm going to take and put my compass back over here. I'm going to change this to a lighter blue. So I'm going to put my compass here at point E. You can do it. You started here, so you need to go to point E on this case. You're going to go here, and then you're going to stretch your compass way over here to point D, and you could draw a little arc. So you're going to draw a little arc over. So now you get an idea that you've spanned this distance all the way across over to here to point D. So now you're going to take that same compass setting, and you're going to apply it over here at this point, whatever point we want to call it, and we're going to strike the arc so that it comes, and I don't know where this line is, but it's going to cross it. So then you strike the arc through like that. The same, I drew the arc up here, here's the arc up here, I drew the arc here, and now they look kind of similar. Of course, this is all freehand. So now because of that, you can now take and draw your regular line from this point here to here, and I'm going to see if I can do it. It's kind of coming out to the same place. That's the magic of, well, it's not a very good line, is it? How about if I erase that? Let me try that again. Okay. Let's do that again. Let's try it. Get the line, go up here, and much better. So this angle here, whatever that is, 120 degrees maybe, is now supposed to be this angle here. Same angle. Angle there, okay? This is a congruent angle to the angle we drew. So I drew this one, and had I had a compass and a straight edge, this would have been very, very repeatably accurate, okay? Good luck with these. Objective 2, constructing bisectors. Now we're going to do some bisecting. So we have some like almost like definitions here. Perpendicular lines, segments, or rays intersect to form right angles. So here we have it right here. We have our line. Where'd my pen go? There's my pen. So we have this line right here. Okay, it's a segment actually, but it's part of a line. Segments are all part of lines. And here's the perpendicular bisector, or it's just a perpendicular line that is intersecting this other line, and it intersects. That's perpendicular bisector. It is now bisecting the line at a point that's 90 degrees to that line. A segment bisector, now we're going to do a bisector, is a line, a segment, or a ray that divides the segment into two congruent segments. So what they're showing you here is, here's the line right here, okay, right through here. There's the line. And then with this line that bisected it, they're not saying what the angle of it is, but they're saying it bisects the line at some point. And at that point where it's bisecting it, a segment bisector says that this right here and this segment right here, that's from here to here and from here to here, those are exactly the same length. They're congruent. And then finally here we have a perpendicular bisector. Here we just had a perpendicular line intersecting, not talking about, it wasn't dividing it in half, but a bisector, a perpendicular bisector, is a line segment or ray that is perpendicular to the segment it bisects. So now, like we did here in this segment bisector, this line here that goes through it is on an angle. Well, now this line is perpendicular. Okay? And that's showing you right here that it's a perpendicular line. And it goes through this segment at a point right here that bisects it, so that this piece here and this piece, these two pieces here, I'll change my color to red. This piece here and this piece over here are congruent. Okay? It says an angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. So we're going to look at creating a perpendicular bisector and an angle bisector. Example 3, constructing a perpendicular bisector. It's actually pretty easy. It says in step 1, and it says construct a perpendicular bisector of PQ. And our segment right here, here it is, PQ. They want us to bisect this, okay, and be perpendicular. So it says open your compass to more than half the length of PQ. So you're going to put your compass, I'm just going to put a dot right here, and you're going to open it up. Here's the center. Your compass has to be over into the other half, if you so to speak, right? It's got to be longer. The arc has to be longer than half of the segment, because you got to have it go past the middle. And then you're going to do the same thing. It says draw an arc intersecting PQ with the same compass setting and the repeated point. So you drew an arc here. That was this arc here you drew. You drew this arc here past, visualizing where the center is. Here's the center somewhere in there. You don't know exactly. And then they say come back and turn around, put your pin over here, and draw the exact same arc from the other point on this side. So now you got this little slot looking, kind of an oval looking thing, football looking kind of a slot in here. And somewhere, since this is exactly the same arc and it's greater than half, and this is the same arc and it's greater than half, right through the middle of these two where they intersect, and I'm going to change colors now to blue. So where these intersect, here and here, okay, we're going to see it. We're going to be able to draw a line through there, and guess where it's going to go through? It says label the points of the intersection of the two arcs as S and T. So they made this one here S, and they labeled this one down here T. That's the intersections. There's no point there, it's just the intersections. Okay, it says label the points of the intersection S and T. Draw ST, the line ST, and label the intersection as ST, the line ST, and PQ, the segment PQ, as point M. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw this line here all the way through, and it's going to go through both points. It's going to go through here, through the middle, And here it is. Here's the line. Okay? So now that we've got this line drawn, and there's a point that was created right here in the middle. And I'm going to change back to red. Right here in the middle, there was a point where this line intersected, this segment was intersected by the line. And they want you to name that point right there as M. So now you can say ST, that's from here to here. ST is this line. The line ST is perpendicular to PQ and ST. So PQ, this line ST here, is perpendicular to PQ and ST, the line right here. And it bisects PQ right there at point M. You see that? You just draw the two arcs, boom, boom, draw a line between them, and where it crosses the sector, you're done. Okay? You've got your midpoint. And the line is perpendicular. So if I did that, I can do this too. I can do perpendicular right there. It's a perpendicular bisector. Okay? Okay, example 3, check your understanding. Directions: draw a segment and construct a perpendicular bisector. So this is exactly the same problem we just did. Go off and do it on your own. Draw it on your own paper. I've left the picture of the last slide there so you can follow the direction. Just go ahead and do it. I think the act of just doing this will put it in your memory, and you'll say, oh, I remember how to do this. If you ever have to, you'll say, oh yeah, 2 arcs, a line, bingo, we've got it done. So just go ahead and do it yourself. When you come back, we can talk about it. Okay, now that you're back, let's talk about it. So what do we have? You drew a, down here, you have a segment, and I don't care what we're calling it, a segment over here. It can be AB, PQ, we'd call it PQ. I'm not even looking at the chart over here on this side. Then it says, take your compass, and said, this is imagined halfway. It's an imagined point. I'll make this one gold. It's imagined halfway. I don't know that it is. And then I'm going to take a red line, and I'm going to strike an arc. Come on, strike an arc. I'm going to put my pin right here, and I'm going to strike that arc. And the arc has to go, by the way, farther than what you would call the half point part, right? And then you do it on the other side, turn it around, and do the other one, and you're going to draw it, and it's got to go a big enough arc to go through past the center both times. You start on your side of for Q, you start with the pin, with the pencil part, on your side of halfway, the midpoint, and then you're all the way through and back. So then when you come back later and you can draw your line segment to the center, your line through here, it's going to go through, and sorry for the squiggly line. I do wish I could draw better. Anyways, so then now you've got this line segment, with this line that's going through here, and it's created your perpendicular bisector right in the middle, because these two crisscross points are exactly between, because of the size of your arcs, it puts it exactly halfway, and that line just denotes it. So there you have it. Okay, example 4, constructing an angle bisector. Construct a bisector of angle A. Well, it's pretty much just like we've done before. Here's angle A, right? Oops, where'd my pen go? There's my pen. Angle A, right here. And it goes out. Okay, I'm not going to try to draw it. Anyways, it says put a compass at the compass tip at point A, and then you're going to strike an arc. It doesn't matter how big the arc is, but you're going to intersect both sides of the angle and label the points B and C. And they did it B on the bottom, C on the top. So what they did is they drew an angle. They got A. Here's A. And it goes up like this. Okay? And here's A. So what they're telling us to do, is put your tip right here, your pin tip of your compass here, and draw an arc. Okay? Kind of straightforward and easy. Then it says come back, and now you've got your what? You're going to bisect. That's what you're doing, is bisecting this. You're not drawing another angle. You're just going to cut this right in the middle. So then it says get your compass, and now you need to you need to measure from your B and C point some other point out in the distance. Okay, so you can leave this even the same distance on the compass. It doesn't matter. So you're going to put this out here now, and now you're going to go out and you're just going to strike an angle and making sure that should be the same as this angle, by the way. If I had done my job, it would be the same arc. Let's put it that way. And then you go from here. So I didn't label them. Here's B and C. So from B, you struck the same arc, this one here that you struck from A. Put it here and strike it out here, okay? And then you go from, you jump up here to C and you strike the same arc, and let's say it looks like that. So it's a crisscrossing arcs way out here. So wherever these cross, you just draw that until they cross. And then you can take your straight edge. Let's see if I can get a straight edge that'll work in here. So I want to put a point here. And it's somewhere up here. Where is it? Somewhere. Yeah, I'm getting close. Not exact. How close am I here? Oh, I'm way off. Yeah, I can't get it. I'm trying to get the tools for this. Anyway, so what it wants us to do then is to draw. You're going to draw your line from your point A. A straight line up through where it crisscrosses, right there, and that point right there. So as you can see, even though this is free-handed, you can read the instructions here. This, look how much this looks like it cut this angle in half, and that's what it does. If you have the right tools, it's perfect. So I'm going to read this to you now. It's a step 1. Put the compass at tip A. We did that. This is draw an arc that intersects the sides of angle A. That means draw that arc like that. Okay? And then it says label the points B and C. Well, here they are, B and C. They're labeled. Right, B and C. So that's the arc here I just drew here. This is their arc. Put the compass at tip at B and draw an arc. Well, I say draw the same arc if you can. You put it here and boom, draw your arc there. You're going to put at C, and you go, and you're going to draw the arc there. So it says, with the same compass setting, repeat the compass at tip C. The compass arc, make sure the arcs intersect. That's what you have to make sure that they intersect. Label the intersection of the arcs D. They labeled that D way out here. And then draw AD, and that's exactly what we did. We drew AD. Here's our D right here. We drew AD right there. I think you should have this. This is probably pretty straightforward. You do the whole thing in 3 arcs, and you don't have to change your compass ever, as long as your compass will reach past halfway. So as you can see there. So, okay, example 4. Check your understanding. It says draw an obtuse angle and construct its angle bisector. Well, this is your turn. You're going to go stop the video, hopefully, and do this work and give it a shot. It should be just like we just did. It takes 3 arcs and a straight line. I would suggest that you don't make the obtuse angle too large. Make it a little bit larger than 90 degrees. Won't be as hard to draw the intersection and draw the bisector, but you can make it any way you'd like to make it. But go ahead and stop it and come on back, and we'll do it when you get back. Okay. You're now back. We're going to go ahead and do it. It says draw an angle, an obtuse angle. Well, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to draw an obtuse angle. Here it goes. One line and up there. That's my obtuse angle. I'm going to call that A. I'll give it a little point right there. Change to red. Point A right there. Okay? Then I'm going to make an angle bisector. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a line that's going to come somewhere out, probably somewhere out into this area out here. I don't know for sure. But I'm going to take and go open my compass up, put the pin at A, and reach out somewhere a distance, whatever that distance is. At this point, I'm going to call this B, distance, and that forms segment AB. And I'm going to draw the arc, and I'm just going to draw that arc. Okay? And now I have a point here, and I'm going to call that C. That's all it is. You just draw an arc from this line to this line. That makes this segment here and this segment congruent. Okay? So then from point B, we have to draw, we can use the same setting, and it looks like about that far, so I'm going to use it out here because I'm thinking it'll go more than halfway. Hopefully it will. If not, it's got to get out here past this. So I'm going to put the point here, and I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to draw an intersection right out here like this. It's not quite a very good arc, but I think you get the picture. And then from C, I do the same thing. Okay, I draw its arc from C out here with the same setting. If they don't crisscross in the middle here, then you didn't make this arc large enough. This arc here has to be large enough that it reaches more than halfway, but chances are you'll get it. And then from there, you take and you draw your line segment from here, your line from right here. Oops, it's not very good, but we'll call it good. To here. So as you can see, now that I've drawn between these two arcs right here, I'll say arc like this and an arc like that, right? Kind of makes them, and my angle went out here and then here, and then I drew that line because I struck whatever. Like I said, this has to be long enough, and I'll show you the point. If you make this good and long and you strike it way out here, then when you put your point here, it goes way out, and you put your other point here, it goes way out, and you're sure to kind of like catch that center point, right? You kind of get the picture. That's why I said you have to make this long enough that it reaches. If you did this way back here, if you did it way, I would draw another angle. If you did your line way back here, and then you want to make your other point, you'd have to go across here. It's just right here and a little right here. They're pretty close and small, right? Then you're going to go down here, but no matter how you slice it, you still get a bisector. That's not a very good bisector, people. Sorry about that one. My freehand is getting really bad. Oh, it's always been bad. You know that. You've been watching these videos. Okay, as good as it's going to get. But you see the angle bisector. You have an angle. You strike an arc. You take that same length, strike another arc, and from this point here, another arc. And where those two intersect, that'll come down, and that will create your... See how fast that was? Just throwing them in there, and it almost... Those two look pretty close already to bisect. It's not as good as it would have been with a straight edge and a compass, but you get the idea, I'm sure. If you have any questions, write a comment and let me know. I can address it for you further.